Hi, Hannah.
Hi, Sally.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Zoom call.
You're welcome.
I've asked you to come along because you have a really unique story to share. Your journey over the last couple of years has been absolutely phenomenal. And what makes it even more phenomenal, you've done God knows how many refurbs in the midst of everything else that you've managed to achieve as a letting agent as well. But I want to take you back to when we first met, 2016, Hannah. What position were you in? Why did you come along to one of my one days? What was going on? Where were you?
Where was I? Well, I was very much working on my own, Sally, and my plan after I'd left my business, sorry, after I'd left the company I worked for, which was a local authority, was to set up a business where I could create my own property portfolio. And I'd chosen HMOs. I really wanted to do multi-lets. They were the in thing. Everybody was doing them, and I thought, you know what? I'd really love to try and build up my own HMO portfolio. But what I found at the time was that whilst it was quite easy to go out and buy properties and create multi-lets, there wasn't anybody to look after them. Because your traditional high street estate agent just didn't seem to understand what I was trying to achieve. So it resulted in me trying to work out a system and a process for managing my own property. And that really just came from a blank sheet of paper where I had to start from scratch and scribble down some ideas about how I thought it should be done. And funnily enough, but I used to work in lettings, but that was back in 1990, such a long time ago. And I'd actually started following you, Sally, on some of your videos and some of the concentric TV, and it became absolutely apparent to me that you knew what you were talking about, and I could learn a thing or two. Because what I was finding was that the legislation had changed so much, and things hadn't stayed the same. It wasn't 1990 anymore. Things had moved on quite a lot. Technology had changed, expectations had changed, landlords and tenants, views and aspirations had changed. But I wasn't really, working in 2016. So what I found was that by connecting with yourself and some of the training that you were offering, I thought that I would be able to bring myself up to speed with how a letting agency was supposed to be run in modern times.
Well, what was the real problem? I mean, when you say running a letting agency, I might imagine you sitting there with a team of 6 people. You're doing the deals, and you're just a bit outdated on the legislation. That wasn't it, was it? What was the problem? Why?
Yeah, the problem was, Sally, was that just being myself, I was doing the viewings, I was doing the property inspections, I was doing the bookkeeping, the landlord statements, the bank reconciliation, the petty cash, the dealing with the leaking taps. And if I'm honest, it just became overwhelming because no matter how hard I worked or how many hours I put into it, I couldn't cope. It was just too much for one person to do. And as more and more landlords came on board, very easy to say yes, I'll take your property on, but I genuinely didn't have the capacity or really all the processes or systems to be able to manage it effectively.
So, I mean, I know you are an avid property investor, and I know you love your refurbs and things like that. But at that time, how much time are you getting to spend on your properties? How much time are you spending on the lettings out of a full day? How much time is being spent there?
All my time and more, having to work weekends, having to work evenings, and I remember sitting at my desk with my head in my hands and a calculator and thinking, how am I going to get this landlord statement to balance, because I need to send it to somebody, they're waiting for it. And I don't particularly like working with numbers. It's not my thing. I prefer doing more creative things, coming up with ideas, developing businesses. It's not really my ideal sort of day to be sitting chomping over numbers. I find it a little bit tedious, a little bit boring. But that's what I was doing, and it was painful. It was very painful. I didn't enjoy it at all.
So you came along on the one day, and we talked about different strategies and started to work together a little bit more. What would you say the big thing was, the light bulb moment that said, I need to change this? What's the one thing that really made that difference?
Yeah, I think what really hit home for me, Sally, was the fact that I was doing everything for free. And because in 1990, when I was working as a letting agent, and I'd be running around doing different things for landlords, At the time, it was quite normal that the landlord paid a single monthly fee, and everything, whatever happened with that property or during that tenancy during that time, you would have to deal with it, whether it took you an hour or whether it took you 20 hours. The fee for that would be that one single monthly fee. And that's how, back in 2016, I was trying to develop my letting business based on what I'd learned in the 90s. But obviously, from coming along to your training courses, I learned that things had really, really moved on, but I didn't know about it. And
you were still stuck in the 90s. We could make a film out of you, Back to the Future.
Absolutely. And I look back and laugh now at the way I was doing things, because I've had to make some really significant changes. And they've not all been changes I've been comfortable with, because I don't find it easy going back to landlords and saying, well, actually, if you want this, you're going to have to pay this for it. Landlords want the best deal they can get. But at the end of the day, if you're going to deliver a service, a good quality service, then landlords have to expect to pay for that. And that's what I learned by coming on the course.
So you started charging more money. Is that what allowed you to start building your team up?
Absolutely. And, your business is based on the income you generate, isn't it? And by charging a little bit more, and it doesn't always have to be huge sums of money, but, every little bit helps, doesn't it? And by generating additional income, it helped me to work out how I was going to be able to afford to employ additional staff so that I wasn't having to do all the jobs myself.
And I know something else that I find amazing about you, what you've done is you've actually managed to outsource quite a lot of things as well. Do you want to share how you've done that? Because this is, one of the things that we always teach to people is try and get as much off your desk as possible so you can focus on doing what you love and building your business. And I know you've absolutely taken that to heart, and you've outsourced all sorts of things to very different places. Just share a little bit about that if you could, because I think that's really interesting for a lot of people, how you've managed to do that.
Yeah, certainly. So sometimes the obvious thing to do when you're thinking about recruitment is to put an advert on a website, say you're recruiting somebody in the UK, obviously, or to put a notice in the local job centre or whatever it might be to attract staff into your business. And whilst I wanted to do all of those things, because it was a new business I was creating, I didn't have all the capital to be able to spend, lots and lots of money on recruiting 5 or 6 people. That wasn't in place to be able to do that. So I thought, well, if I'm going to free myself up from the business and try and keep it affordable, what can I do differently to make that happen? And I started doing a little bit of research about virtual assistants. And what I found was that there was lots and lots of very highly skilled and talented people available for work overseas. And I was focusing my time and attention on the Philippines. And there were people really, really, desperate for work. So by creating the right systems and processes and marrying up those with people who were skilled, who wanted to work overseas, I was able to build my team through employing virtual assistants from the Philippines, which meant I was getting staff who were committed. There were skills in what the work that they were delivering, but also they're very loyal and very reliable and affordable for me as a new business. And I've got no plans to change that. I currently have 3 virtual assistants, one who deals specifically with payments, one who deals with compliance, and a third one that we've recently recruited who deals with marketing, social media, etc. Awesome. And whilst people might think, well, how do you manage that when they're like thousands and thousands of miles away? Well, by using really smart cloud-based systems, we don't have to have them physically located in our office. We have Zoom calls, Skype calls. We speak regularly. We don't have to have a physical presence for them to be able to deliver the work that I need them to do.
And you've got your office-based team as well that we can hear in the background too. Yeah. So in 2 years then, so what I'm gathering is from 2 years ago, you were one-man band, you were struggling.
Yeah.
And now, how much would you say time-wise you spend in your agency?
Yeah. Do you know what? I come to work every day because that's just what I do. But, in terms of me getting my hands dirty and dealing with landlords and tenants, very, very little. I would say I spend less than 10% actually dealing with lettings.
Wow. From one-man band to 10% in your agency in just 2 years.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely phenomenal. It took me
Yeah.
about 15, Hannah.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? And I think sometimes you can try and maybe be a bit of a control freak and try and control everything because you know you want to have a say in everything, you want to do everything, but at some point you've got to let go and you've got to feel confident that people can just get on with the job without you interfering or getting too involved. And that's something I've learned over the last few months, really, by making sure that people know what they have to do. What is the process for moving a tenant in? What is the process for dealing with somebody who doesn't pay their rent? And that's all documented. It's all in the cloud. So, you know, the chances of someone having to ask me a question are reduced because everything's there. It's documented in standard operating procedures.
Fantastic.
And that's something I've learned from coming along to the training with you, Sally.
And how much has your portfolio of properties under management grown in 2 years? Has that grown as well? Have you seen?
Yeah, it has. It's doubled in size since we started from 2016, which is great. And I think just from coming to the training courses, from meeting other people in the group and being able to talk about some of the challenges we face on a daily basis, it's just given me the confidence to go out there and build that portfolio and try and bring in more work to the business. And I think what's also been really good is that I've been able to get my staff involved in some of the things that you teach, so that, you know, when I share with them, you know, how the ramp method works, they've also had an understanding about it as well. And what we're aiming to do is to use your systems and your processes for getting new business and utilize that to create a culture inside Limelight, so that we do things in a certain way to get the results that we need. That's just really important, and I can see it working already.
So in 2 years, you've got yourself a full team in place and got yourself out of your business. You've doubled the size of your portfolio and you've increased all your fees. It sounds to me like you've got a pretty big driving force of there's something else you want to be spending your time doing that you enjoy. So come on, spill the beans. What is it? What is it you actually wanted to get your time back for and create the life that you wanted? What was it?
I've spent quite a long time doing property refurbishments. So in the last 18 months to 2 years, I've done several conversions from family homes to HMOs or multi-lets. And more recently, we've done commercial to residential conversion. So we've actually purchased a public house, a pub, and we've converted that into a 15-bedroom HMO.
Wow, 15 bed.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's pretty big. I get lost when I go inside now, Sally.
Right. That's phenomenal. Wow, what a driving force. So just to sum up, really, I mean, honestly, Hannah, it's an absolutely phenomenal journey in just 2 years. And it's great to hear and it's great to see. And it's not only you've done, you know, some of the stuff that we've trained, you've also gone on your own journey as well. That with the Philippines and the outsourcing, some of the stuff there is absolutely amazing. So, I mean, it's great to hear. For you, what would you say is Agent Rainmaker all about? What is, I mean, you've got the Agent Rainmaker event this year. We've got the boot camps, the training, and our mission is just to help as many people as possible. What does it mean to you as someone who's been through the program for the last couple of years? What is it?
Yeah, it means a lot to me, Sally, because traditionally, other businesses that do what you do don't share good practice, don't share tips, ideas about how you can build a better business and become more profitable. And that's what makes Agent Rainmaker unique, because it's out there and it's supporting businesses, whether they're local or whether they're not. It doesn't really matter where we're from, and it's helping us to transform our businesses, whether we're trying to double our turnover, whether we're trying to organise landlord seminars. The content in Agent Rainmaker is so vast, and that's what makes it exciting, because it will suit a whole variety of businesses. And we're all different, aren't we? Yes, we all do lettings on a day-to-day basis, but some of us will love going out there and doing refurbishments. Others of us might want to get involved in sales, yeah, and others won't. But there's something for everybody in Agent Rainmaker, which is what makes it so attractive. And everybody is so willing and open to sharing ideas and good practice. And you know, I like that about it. I really like it, because it's helped me a lot. It's helped me connect with a modern day letting business about what that should be, having, you know, lived back in 1990. And I'm in it for the long run, because for me, I've only just started. Yeah. So, there's a big, bright future ahead of us. And if I can continue to work with PAC or Agent Rainmaker to try and develop and grow and build my business, because actually, 5-10 years time, I might want to think about franchising it. Yeah. And the obvious place to come is to you, Sally, to say, okay, this is the idea we've got. How do we do this? Not everybody wants to share those ideas. But I'm really excited about the future. I'm excited about being involved with the group. And just want to learn more and more, because no matter how much we think we know, there's always something new to learn and something new to implement. And
what would you say to someone who's thinking of coming to perhaps one of the events like Agent Rainmaker Live or the bootcamp, but not sure because they've been on a few training courses and they've tried different things and they've just gone back to their office and done what they've always done? What's different about this? What would you say to someone in that position?
I think what's different is that the environment is very, very natural. Whereas you can go on, corporate training courses, can't you? Then there's several of them out there that you'll go on a day's course to learn about rent-a-rears or a day's course to learn about, fire safety. It's very open, it's very natural, and it's very easy to connect with people. And you learn just as much in the break as you do actually from the content of the day, because you're talking to people who are doing what you're doing day in, day out. They feel the same pain, and we often share the same celebrations. So I would say go along, because it's not your average property training course. It's unique. It's unique, and that's because you make it unique, Sally.
And has it changed your mindset, your life, your lifestyle? Is it better now as a result of coming on that day 2 years ago?
Absolutely, yeah. Like I've said, I freed up more of my time to be able to do the stuff I enjoy. Naturally, I like creating things. I like coming up with new ideas. I also love systems. I love processes. I don't really want to spend my time dealing with leaking taps or leaky roofs. Yeah, I want to get my hands stuck in developing businesses and making them grow and making them succeed. And without any shadow of a doubt, the strategies I've learned through PAC and Agent Rainmaker have really seriously impacted on my business. And anyone out there who's trying to get going, just like I have been, get yourself on the course. Give me a ring, have a chat with me. I'll tell you all about it.
Now you're going to be sharing your story, Hannah, at Agent Rainmaker Live. So just give us a little bit of an overview of what you're going to be sharing on the day. What's the key thing you're going to focus on? Is it going to be about growing your business? Is it going to be about outsourcing? What do you think is going to be the thing that the audience is going to want to hear about? What are you going to be sharing on the day?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be talking about this is something that is great for new businesses when you haven't got a lot of money to start with and you need to find ways of being able to recruit people, keeping your costs low, but at the same time getting great quality service from your staff and from your team. So I'm going to be talking about outsourcing your work overseas. And then additionally, I'm going to be talking about how you can create additional income through multi-lets. I'm going to talk about HMOs, how you can take a family home and convert it into a really high cash flowing multi-let property. And also, not whether you're doing that just for yourself, but there's also, I'd like to talk to you about how you can attract investors as well, because you can deliver these services to investors, and there are so many out there that are crying out for these services. There's just lots and lots of opportunity for you to bring additional income into your business. And I'm going to show you how you can do that through developing HMOs and multi-lets.
Now the question is, Hannah, having seen so many of your videos all over Facebook, will you be wearing your yellow hard hat?
I've got a blue one as well, actually. So I might bring both.
Anyway, Hannah, thank you so much today. You've been absolutely wonderful as always. Keep up the great work, and we'll see you at Agent Rainmaker Live very soon.
Thank you, Sally. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.